Hey everyone, how's it going? If anyone shows up here, I've got some things I'm going to be doing here today. See what the dealio is. Hey, I happened to see you in the Who list there. Thought I'd send you an invite.
Yeah, hello. How are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks.
All right. Am I live? Let me double check. There we go. I am. Oh my God. Hey Donna. Hey Oscar, Jeffrey, Flyflung Flu, Stingite, Browsing Monkey, DDO Geek Mom, Jeffrey. Hello, how's it going? I am on Wayfinder. Let me back up and say hello and welcome to Friday afternoon here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/Dungeons and Dragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. I am DDO's Community Manager Cordovan, and I'm going to do something a little nutty today, I think. Alright, so I'm going to do something a little bit nutty today. I am going to be switching over to my Cordovan character, and I'm going to make you, Edward, the party leader, just so that I can have you invite me in just a minute. And then we're going to head into Stealthy Repo, and I will explain why once we get there. Alright, so I'll be back in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
Just today. You know me too well. But I want to do something fun. This is something I've been planning to do for a while, and I'm just about ready to give it a good college try, but I'm going to kind of preview the madness a little bit here today. Hey, Ann Z's and Michael, Lucas Z over on Facebook. Nice to see everyone there. What? The test dojo exists on Wayfinder? It sure does. Excellent. You can kick Mokto. He ain't coming back. Guy's a jerk. Alright, so we are going to go into Stealthy Repo here.
So, and what is that?
It's in the harbor. I'm sitting right next to it. Basically, right out of the gate of the, when you get into the harbor, go right, go down the stairs, and you'll see Lesto Half Price right in front of you. Alright, so anyway,
Gotcha.
I announced this on the forums just a little bit ago because it's been penned in, but for those of you who have been asking, begging, pleading,
I
next
see,
week we are going...
Filmmaker is also here on Swamp Bat.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. So we're going to go in, and we'll go in on Elite. And before I do the thing, let me just finish my thought. So that is next week. We're going to be having our Champion Hunter Week. So starts next Thursday, runs through basically that Wednesday, shut off that Thursday morning. It'll have like cloaks, crowns, bracers. I think not the flasks, but other than that, pretty much all the stuff, limited time stuff, should be back there. And I know a lot of people have been asking for that. So now that it's officially been pinned into the calendar, I can say so. Okay, so what's going on here? I am going to be spawning our DPS test Kobold. What's going to happen is this Kobold's going to show up, and the timer will start when you give it its first hit. So don't hit it right away. And then, when you kill it, it'll tell you how long it took. Alright, and that's basically it. And the reason we're in Stealthy Repo here is so that you can use all your spells and all that sort of thing. Alright, hang on a sec.
Okay, that sounds
Nope,
cool.
you guys can both hit it together if you want, that's fine.
I'll let the Artie go first. And I don't know, maybe Shoemaker wants to join too? He's on Swamp Bat.
Yeah, sure, just give me a sec. Test DPS. Okay, so create MN Kobold. Oops. Alright, so the timer will start when you give it its first damage, and then when it's down, it'll be done. Let me get you the total hit point total it has. It scales a bit because we are in an instance rather than an airship, but the reason I'm doing that is so that you can use your full range of spells on that. Just one quick second here.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, cool. Alright, so this thing has 500,000 hit points. And when you start, it'll start. And yes, I am aware that you aren't seeing me yet. About the Remnant vendor, we also need some brand new
Yeah, that
items
might
there.
take a
Yes.
while.
Understood. Yeah, that's why I was thinking you two could go together just to get it down quick. See how fast we can do this if you want. Hitting the admin console like a pro? Yep, you're not wrong. No, Jeffrey. My understanding is this thing basically is naked. It has no additional PRR, no things like that. It just is raw hit points. That's why it's used for DPS testing. So one way we'll do DPS testing. It does have boss properties. So things like you can't insta-kill it. You can't vorpal it. That kind of thing. But otherwise it should just pretty much be its own thing here.
So, and the test Kobold has the same immunities like Raid Boss.
Correct. Yeah, it's basically set with the raid boss property.
That sounds awesome.
Can it be held? No, because this is the Raid Boss property. There is a version of this that has none of the Raid Boss properties as well.
Yeah,
But the
with the
reason I'm not using
2050,
that for
right?
this event is then, if you can just Vorpal it or Destruct it or something like that. And we have, and it's not always going to have this many hit points. It really just depends on what you want it to be. You can edit the amount of hit points, but by
No,
default,
but
it's half a
like
million.
when this one is on a ship,
Uh-huh.
casters won't be able to use all their spells because it's an
Yes. Yeah, you're 100% correct on that, and that's why we're in a private instance here, so that we don't have to worry about that. If I do
yeah.
this for the event, the contest, though, it's something I'm going to have to try to figure out. If it works, it'll just work, right? But I do want to make sure that if I'm going to do it as an event, that people can, use their full range of spells. So whether that's... I'm actually looking into the possibility that I can create a public instance, like a separate public instance, and then give that one instance only sort of spell powers. But I don't know if I can actually do
Mm-hmm.
that yet. No, 500,000. Yes. But yes, Dag, we do recognize that there's a need to have some new items in the Mysterious Remnants vendor. It's one of those things we're a little busy, say, with Ravenloft loot, with Update 36 loot. We want to redo the Mimic Hunt. We've got the Night Rebels Festival again coming up, so I don't know that there's going to be a lot of opportunity to make new stuff for the Mysterious Remnants
That would
vendor,
be similar to the
but
PvP pit,
it
I
will do.
think. Although you
Yeah.
can't use any spells there, but most of them.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. The other option is we could do a like a private PvP arena, one of those like capture the flag style. But it just gets a little complicated. The nice thing about going into a dungeon or something like this is it's just easy to get into. Kind of makes it easy to deal with.
Yeah, right. I just got a tell from Shoemaker. He was tapped on doing some stuff on the wiki. You have to send him a tell again, or
Okay,
invite again.
sure, no problem. Hey, Shu, how's it going? So, Jeffrey, my plan is to do a bit of a contest of this sort of thing, where we're going to pit some people who want to sort of Ninja Warrior style, people who think they are the best DPS on the server. We're going to put them to the test. We'll get, say, 10 or a dozen people. We'll go server to server. We will put them solo against this thing, and we will all watch and time it. We will also maybe do a bit of a reality show style thing, maybe even turn it into a little sportscaster thing. I don't know. We're working through the final plans on this. But I wanted to kind of give a little preview of what this thing actually is and how it works. Like I say, this is not the only means we do DPS testing. We have actual other ways to do it as well. But as kind of a quick and dirty, easy way to test, say, damage output, one class to another or one enhancement tree to another, this serves some purpose. There are some other things we can do there. Alright, now watch when this thing dies. It's going to spit out a time and then put it in the chat. So 370.914 seconds. This is in seconds here, so that would be about a little over 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Almost 11 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I think especially for, damage builds.
Alright, we're going to get Shu in here if he wants to, and then we're going to give this one more shot. This time around, Edward, everyone can just pound on it right away, and we'll see what kind of time we can beat there. If you want to. Yeah, it's not like we're earning XP or anything here, right? You're right. I mean, Javur, you raise a really good point, which is, it is just standing there. But so that's why I say this is just one method, not, say, intended to be the best method or the most comprehensive. But as kind of when people are, say, a dev is working on a certain thing, or damage output, or class revamp, or something like that, it's kind of a quick and easy way to sort of test. And the other thing is, because it is stable, you get to control the start, you get to control the stop, you get to control how many hit points it has, and it spits out a time. Over time, you can build some decent data on that. You can, say, do this half a dozen times on a swashbuckler to get probably a general sense of under these controlled conditions, average DPS, and then you could bring in, say, a rogue assassin or a mechanic or, artificer or whatever it is you want to do. And then kind of be able to compare that. Like I say, it's not really a scientifically perfect DPS test, but it is a useful way that we can get a quick and dirty DPS test on there. So. Alright, Shu, so just since you were not here the last time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spawn this thing. The timer begins when the first hit is registered, and it stops when it's dead. It has 500,000 hit points, and all three of you can smack on it at once.
Yeah, that way is way better than running to the red fence and doing the fire giant boss.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, there are, I've seen another one, people go into Caught in the Web and time, say, past that first area. So, and there is some use for all that stuff as well. Because, these aren't, most of the time the mob isn't just sort of sitting there doing nothing. But, like I say, just as kind of a way to have a control environment where you're going to have the same sort of background circumstances every time, it's useful.
Yeah, correct. And it's got a lot of hit points, so the fire giant, for instance, goes down pretty well, and you can enter this with heroics.
Yep. So the reason it's a Kobold is just by default what spawns in this game when it doesn't have a value. Which is why back in if you remember the old bug back when the Lord's March Plaza, where that one Kobold would sometimes show up instead of the NPC, that was basically because that was, when it didn't have something to pull, it would just pull a Kobold. You don't have to have it targeted to see the number output, and the other members of the party will also see that number show up as well. Use my magic and make it coil. See, that's the I don't know if I could do that, actually. I'm not sure how I would do that. I'm on Wayfinder, Zivon. Do we have a date for the Night Revels? No, not really at any sort of formal date at this point, just around Halloween-ish, October-ish, I would expect it basically to be our October thing. That was a lot faster, 159.4. So you guys did it in, let's see, not even quite 3 minutes there. See if we can do one more test here and give it a shot. I like that it says Kobold start DPS test now. Hey Bruce, nice to see you here. And we probably will run something here in just a little bit, but I wanted to just kind of show this off and let people see what we've got cooking here a little bit.
And it's good to monitor your stacking debuffs.
Yeah, I think, you know, if we're actually on what's called an admin client as opposed to just an admin character, there's some additional kind of analysis and data collection that can be done. But just sort of me on my regular game client as a admin, I can't query damage output on the thing.
No, but I'm looking now at the Kobold, which harmful effects he has, and the stacking effects from Shoemaker's attacks and so on. And that's pretty good. So you don't need to worry about getting hit and see the progress. Awesome.
Get a thrower in there running Fury of the Wild if you want damage per second. Yeah, it looks like Edward is a single weapon fighter. Probably. Any plans on a console version? Probably not, Edward. I would never say never on that, but the reality is DDO is a fairly complex game, and I'm not sure. I think translating it to a controller might be difficult at best. When is the store going to be back to normal? Could be very, very soon. So we tentatively have a patch set for Lord of the Rings Online next week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. And that's going to bring the Lotro store back to the internal browser there. So if that works out and everything is there, then the next game update for DDO... Oh, yeah. Almost. It was just a few seconds shorter, or 9 seconds longer, so... And, yeah, I think I could supersize the Kobold. I should be able to do that. Let me think. That would be... to look it up in our internal jet. Yes. That's fun. Would the Ravenloft game contain layers based on designs and story from the original AD&D module, or would it be from the box set? That's a good question. The answer may end up being a mix of both. I think we're leaning a little more heavily on the box set compared to i6. It's i6, right? But there are going to be elements from all of it, I think. You're right, RD2Play, that some people have used controllers in the past, so it is supported, although you have to play a class that has fewer buttons to use to be effective. Yeah, I mean, I do think, like I said, I don't think it would be impossible to think that you could do a console version of DDO. I think it would just be particularly challenging to do it well. Maybe, though. Who knows? Yeah, the Kobold should be talking the entire time, I agree. Yeah. Josh is like, what in the HE double toothpicks? I know, right? That's why this is Friday afternoon. We're relaxed here and having some fun. Yep. Ivan Draco quotes from Rocky IV. Yeah. Yeah, so the most I've ever done is I remember back in the day using some kind of weird third-party program. I hooked up an original PS3 controller to DDO, and it kind of worked. I mean, movement was good with the left thumbstick, camera was good with the right thumbstick, but ultimately there just weren't enough buttons to do everything I wanted to do. So you would get into a situation where you would kind of need to create a setup, either basically just have one hotbar, or, you know, and then have a method to switch hotbars, you know, using the right and left R1, R2 triggers or something like that. But it just never really worked right for me. But maybe that was a me thing though too, you know? So, who knows? I mean, I know some people do play on Xbox controllers and all that, so. What do I mean when I said Challenger event this next Thursday? I mean the Champion Rewards vendor. So, nice. We're killing kobolds. Hey, that's hilarious. It actually counts toward kobolds slain. Nice. Alright, I'm going to switch back then to Mokdo, and I'll be back in just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think on a fighter it would be fairly easy. I was on a cleric, I believe, at the time that I was doing that. So the Champion Hunter Rewards Week. When you defeat champions, you can get the Mysterious Remnants, and that reward week puts the limited duration or limited availability items in the Mysterious Remnants vendor in the Hall of Heroes. So things like the crown, the diadem, the fire diadem. I can't remember what its formal name is. Crown of Fire or whatever. The cloaks, the bracers, executioner's plate, that kind of thing. We'll be back. I'm on Wayfinder, Heathen. Yep. This is week 1 of 2 for Wayfinder. Cool. Alright, so let me think. We could just run a regular quest here if we want to. How about, since we were just kind of hanging around the 12, why don't we do Subversion?
Sure.
So that's what that is. Sorry if I called it a Challenger Rewards. That's not accurate. So in case you wonder why my hit points basically are a little different, I just swapped into Shirati. I just capped out Primal Avatar like 2 sessions ago. And I've already got Fury of the Wild capped out as well. So I want to fill out my Primal Karma tree so I can Epic Reincarnate. So I'm in my off Destiny right now. And I just started it. So that's what's going on there. Has the Players' Council been finalized? Yes, for now. I want to start off a little bit smaller than we had last year. Every year it was getting larger. And I think last year maybe it was just a little bit too large. Some of the feedback, we got some feedback that people felt it was a little too crowded, frankly. So we're starting with a smaller group of I guess what, about 40 people, and over time we'll be adding to the council. You know, rather than once a year formal time frame, we're just going to be bringing people in and out as the topics change, as people's interest changes, and as we want to bring in people to talk about various things, just refresh things up periodically. But for now, we're set for a little while here. And that list has been published on the forums. I do think, you know, so if you didn't get in on the council right away, you almost certainly will be back. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Some time ago, support told me I would get extra VIP time because of the PayPal issues. When I look at my subs, I have some sort of...
on the console so far. And get in touch with me if you'd like to get VIP status on the wiki.
Oh yeah, there you go. Cool. There is, of course, the NDA. So, yes, Zermi, we are... I apologize that the amount of time it's taking, but we are still working to grant people that extra VIP time. We had hoped to have that done by now. We did some work with one of our third-party vendors to try to auto-grant it, but there was some kind of thing that happened behind the scenes that made it so it didn't work. So instead we're going to have to manually do that work with our customer service agents. And that work is underway. But I think we've got something like 5,000-ish people to do. So it's just going to take a little while before everyone gets to it. But yes, Zermi, you will be getting that extra VIP time. We haven't forgotten about you, and we're working on it. And I do apologize for the amount of time it's taken. Yeah, Infel Host, kind of back to the playing on a controller. Well, I bet once you do get used to it, it becomes a lot easier to do. But maybe as a first blush, it's like, what? Alright, let me see. What server am I on? I'm on Wayfinder. How did I notify them? I think it was just an email.
Erupts from the central pillar and strikes the magical field across the hall.
Because it was just the email they sent their application in on. Wayfinder, Ghost Town. You know what's interesting about that, though, is, I mean, you're not wrong. I think everyone knows that Wayfinder is the least populated server, but there's also a group of players who kind of like it that way. So, I don't know. Dark. Ouch. No. Right. Righto.
I play on a lot of servers, and I've found that even though Wayfinder seems to have the lowest overall population, it also seems to have the most active population. So it kind of balances itself out that way.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. It's always interesting. I've done on the live stream here some rating on Wayfinder, and there's always kind of a little bit of a snide comment of like, "Oh, are you going to fill a group?" And it's like, you know what? It's never been a problem. The Wayfinder community is pretty tight knit like that. So. People making fun of Rhode Island. You can't make fun of Rhode Island. It's the biggest little state in the Union. Rhode Island, Rhode Island, the biggest little state in the Union. You guys remember that? I think I just dated myself. Yeah. Oh God. How do I do this again?
Something about these crates seems strange.
Oh, still gotta do the third. Get off my lawn. Yeah. What race are the big hulking things? The Abishai? Is that what you're talking about? Otherwise it would probably be, half-orc, I guess? Depending on what you're asking about. This character that I'm playing is a Purple Dragon Knight.
The Orthons?
Oh, yeah, that's probably right. The Orthons. Ah, look for my... There we go. Okay. Man, those acid bursts just tear you apart, you know?
I'll run him back to the shrine. I need a shrine anyway.
Cool. Wizards should make DDO books for DDO. There have been two. The last one was quite a while ago, though. I'm thinking 2011, 2012. Check out Marcy Rockwell. That's the name of the author. I believe it may be Marshila Rockwell on the credit. And one of them is called the Shard Axe, and I can't, off the top of my head, think about what the other one is. But they were both 3.5 Eberron-based, DDO-specific novels that came out. And they're both really cool. Skein of Shadows, yes, thank you, Flyflung Flu. I have a signed copy of them. Do I play on Orion, TS Fraz? Not particularly. I do have a character on Orion, but I just don't have a lot of time. Let's see. Okay.
The lever clicks into place, and an instant later, the sound of metal sliding against stone echoes down the main hallway.
The main servers I'm active on, well, mostly Thelanis nowadays is the one I've been probably spending more time on than any. But I do have active characters I'm playing on both Arganessen and Sarlona as well. I also have a character on Kyber that I frankly don't play as much, but I do have. And, I mean, I've got characters on every server. But primarily the big three I'm playing on at the moment is Argo, Sarlona, and Thelanis, and mostly Thelanis. I used to be on Sarlona a lot more, but I fell into a guild I really enjoy running with on Thelanis, so I've kind of been focused on that. Not that I didn't like my guild on Sarlona or anything, but you know, there's only so many hours in the day, so... I know, no love for G-Land either. I'm bringing back friends. Oh, crap. Got a Gibber's Blade on this character. I love that Gibber's Blade. What a cool, cool item. You're right, Sarlona does have the Halfling Commandos, and they're awesome. Yep. We need an altar on our ships to crunch stuff up for crafting. You can. There is Caneth crafting there. Yep. Any chance of some of the older armor kit designs becoming new cosmetics? Maybe. The issue is mostly one of basic dollars and cents, which is that it takes a not insignificant amount of work to retrofit them to the new cosmetic. And that amount of work is more than the expected money we're going to get from doing it. So that's not to say we won't, but it can be hard to justify setting aside the time on something that, like, you know you're going to lose money on. You know what I mean? That's sort of the unfortunate position of some of those old armor kits.
With all the valves opened, the machinery in the other alcove springs to life. The wall in the opposite alcove shifts as the lever locks into place, revealing a doorway beyond.
Right, and so there is, I mean, there is a reason, like you say, community value to do a thing, but it just, when given limited resources and time, you know, do we want our cosmetic team to make a new cosmetic, or to make an old one? And so far, we've largely tended to side with the new over the old. But we did bring back some of them. But not all of them, clearly, and not all the ones people want. You're right, Oscar. I do need a halfling cleric. My the only halfling. Well, actually, no, that's not true. On Orion, I've got a halfling, and that's my assassin. Although I think he's currently a thief acrobat at the moment. Generally an assassin, though. And I've got a. Maybe that is my only halfling I'm playing at the moment. Never remember where this one is. Oh, there we go. Cool.
The lever activates and a wall slides into the floor, uncovering a hidden passage.
You're right, I do need to roll a halfling cleric. I like my halflings, they're fun. It's just that. What determines how many remnants you get? Is it random? It's largely random. So it's random within a range. And that range, I believe, is determined by the CR of the champion. Which is why... Well, I think that's... Is that right? It's random within a range. That much I know for sure. So it'll be like, you know, 2 to 16 or 2 to 64. But there is some other factor, and I'm tempted to say it's the CR of the champion, but perhaps I'm wrong there. And there may also be a way to kind of go up and down a tier. No, we don't currently have a way to boost the number, but we do have the champion double mysterious remnant boost that we can do as a world property, and that has basically twice the chance of having a mysterious remnant drop when you kill a champion. So that's the control valve we have for that at the moment. When is the Remnant Trader coming back? Next week. Starting on Thursday, I believe, running through the next third. Well, basically until we shut off for the next event. Oh. You want a little fairy healer like Link has in Zelda. That's funny. The name of the character on Orien, I believe, I'm going off the top of my head, but I believe it's just Mock Duck. So, you may notice a pattern there. I tend to, when I can't think of a good name for my characters, I just name them all the same. So there's a lot of Mock Does and Mock Ducks throughout the game world. It's sort of my default. It also has the added advantage of like friends always know how to find me, regardless of what server I'm on, that kind of thing. They're not all named that, but a lot of them are. We need ropers, yes, I agree.
Strange. I had that same thing with the whole shoe theme.
Yeah, right. I think it's actually fairly common. I don't think it's all that uncommon, but are we going to continue to support older graphics cards? Bruce Shepard says he was playing a game that dropped an old NVIDIA card. Yeah, we don't plan to obsolete any, like, say, DX9 support. As a matter of fact, DDO tends to run best on DX9, I've found. But we will not be obsoleting things. Are we going to get Death Ward refilling potions for next week's champion thing? No. The flasks, I believe, are not in next week's bonus. The cloaks, the crowns, the bracers, the executioner's plate, executioner's helm, that sort of thing. Then I think the next time around would be the bracers. Oh no! And thus ends Mokdo. It's a shame DDO's database goes off first name and not first and last name. Uh-huh. Agreed. Has anyone asked yet about where the cleric fund begins? Oh man, someone did ask that and I didn't answer the question. Any monster manuals planned for the near future? No, not in the near future. We kind of released a whole bunch of those not that long ago. Well, I guess a year or so ago now. So we're just going to be doing some other things for a little while. I'm sure we're not done with monster manuals, but, you know, for now. I know you don't, a lot of times you don't need to kill these slots, but you just need to get the main guy, but
It's all up to you, Jerry. Don't die.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. Boom.
Well, I think I have to take 1 sec.
Yeah, I think I can do. Oh, hey, there we go. Lamania soon? Probably. Soonish. Sometime in June. Is SSG going to come out with new games?
Yeah, well, the trip too often.
Yeah, I don't have any cakes.
Yeah, it was the last one.
Alright, I'll release and recall in. Someone stay in.
Okay,
I'll stay in.
Right. I'm not opposed to having a healing fairy. That seems kind of funny. So yes, the answer to the cleric favored soul question though is yes, we are working on it. I think it's going to be released probably I know it's going to be released after update 36, but I believe it will be released, at least the intention is to release it before
Okay, maybe
Ravenloft. So it'll probably be a patch point update between update 36 and 37. But that's all kind of dependent on how things go, in the next couple months. So, it's highly possible something could come up that would shift that time frame around. But as a general estimate, the intention is to release it later this summer. ETA on Ravenloft is still unchanged, and that would be much later this year. We're still working to get Mortar out on the Lochar side. Yeah, so it will be, I believe, both a cleric and a favored soul pass. I do believe the Artificer Pass is going to be... I use the term pass in the same way you guys do, but realistically it's a tweak more than a full class pass. But Artie should be update 36, and then I believe Favored Soul Cleric will be the in-between, and then we'll kind of have to see where things go after that. You know, we want to work on Druid most certainly, and there's, you know, never-ending supply of things we could do. So... Any chance of getting an extra tab in the social panel for guilds to write guild rules, raids, etc.? I think there's kind of a very preliminary thought of setting aside time to do some guild work, perhaps next year. So perhaps something like that might fit into that. But who knows what'll, you know, if that's actually going to come to pass or not. What level range is Ravenloft supposed to be? Don't think we've announced that yet. I imagine we'll have both, say, a heroic level version and either epic or legendary version of Ravenloft as well. Alright, thanks DDO Geek Mom for stopping by. So no, Cleric and Favored Soul tweak will not be next update. Next update is update 36. We just haven't even done the work on it yet. So, or not much of the work on it yet. But that'll be Artie on 36. Oh, okay, Vortex says Ravenloft Heroic was told to us it would be level 10 Heroic Normal. Okay then, yes. That is an accurate figure. That's what I was told as well. I just didn't know if I could say it or not. Sorry. You raise a really good point. Also, Javur, I am on vacation next week, so I will not be around next Wednesday or Friday. There will also not be a DDO Chronicle. But I'll be back the week after that to, back to my regular schedule. I'm hanging out with my kid. I pick him up on Saturday from his mom's, and, yeah. Gonna be a good time. All right.
You come in? Yeah, okay. There we go.
So if you guys want to focus on the red slots just for a little bit to help clear out their numbers, I'm going to work on bringing Gurnoris down.
Okay.
Except they're all grabbing me. Oh crap. That didn't last very long. I'm afraid. Oh, lurker. Man, we almost got him, though. DDO is vacation? Yeah, I mean, it is. But I'm going to have my son with me. He's 5, and we're going to have a nice time. Hanging out, doing the father-son thing, taking a little mini vacation. It'll be cool. Is Diggerland for him or me? I don't know. That's a good question. Ask me when I'm done. I think the answer is both. I mean, what 5-year-old doesn't like construction equipment, right? But on the other hand, what dad doesn't want to get inside of a big, you know, digger and dump truck and all the rest either. So I think it's going to be fun for both of us. No D&D theme park? No, there isn't one, is it there? That really should happen someday. It's the Dungeons and Dragons ride. Whoa. Oh, SSG and new games. Probably eventually. I mean, I remember Sev talking about that when we first transitioned to Standing Stone Games, saying, it's certainly something we would like to do, but our short-term agenda is to make sure that we are financially stable and successful with both DDO and Lotra, which we are. But I think we're going, rather than say, do the kind of risky thing of just saying yes, and now we're going to start a new game right away. We'll see. Our focus is on these expansions here. So, if Mordor is successful, if Ravenloft is successful, and we have no reason to think they won't be, then we'll be taking a look at what the future might bring there. So, any class balancing next pass? Artificer. It's going to get some work for update 36. All right, that's going to wrap it up with Friday afternoon here on twitch.tv/DDO stream, youtube.com/DungeonsandDragons/live, and facebook.com/DDO Unlimited. Yeah, thanks very much for joining me. I really, really do appreciate it. I will not be back next week. I'll be back in 2 weeks on Wayfinder here for the weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream, pre-Memorial Day edition. Sure. So, yep, you too. Have fun. I'll talk to you again soon.